Hello and welcome back to yet another video on the Alejandro Hernandez podcast. These are going to be my official picks for the Week 4 slate of the NFL season. Week 3 was kind of a down week for me. I went 9-7 straight up and 6-10 against the spread, so I definitely want to improve on that mark. I had a kind of solid Week 1, an excellent Week 2, a mediocre Week 3. I want to get back on track this week in Week 4. So for this week, there's a couple interesting games in the slate. You got Jackson Dart of the New York Giants making his first career start, and the fan in me wants to pick the Giants to win that game, but I'll reveal my pick for that game later on in this video. But to start us off, let's get started off with Thursday Night Football. We got the Arizona Cardinals versus the Seattle Seahawks. I'm going to be taking the Seattle Seahawks to win this game and cover the 1.5 line. They are slight favorites in this game, and it's tough to go on the road on a short week and win a divisional game is tough, but I do believe Seattle is capable of it, and I believe it's because of how impressive their defense has looked so far this season. Mike McDonald's done a terrific job. The Seahawks are yet to give up more than 17 points in a game this season. They've played good competition, and the 49ers and the Steelers, they had a layup in the Saints last week. They capitalized on that, blew them out. And I really love their pieces on offense. JSN has really blossomed into a number one wide receiver in this league. Then Kenneth Walker has been great in the run game the past 2 weeks. Their offensive line is playing very, very well. And Sam Darnold has looked pretty good these past couple of weeks. And I believe the big thing in this game for the Seahawks in order for them to win is for Sam Darnold to play mistake-free football. If the Seahawks can simply just lean on their running game, get the ball to Jackson Smith and Jigba, and run the ball effectively with Kenneth Walker, and Sam Darnold is efficient with the football, then the Seahawks have a clear path to winning this game. And given how Kyler Murray performed against the Seahawks defense last season, I do not trust him to win this game for the Cardinals. I think Kyler Murray struggles against the Seattle defense historically. I don't believe he has a very good record against the Seahawks all time, and especially against this Mike McDonald defense, he really, really struggled last season playing his scheme. And the Seahawks defense, I believe, got even better in personnel, and they've looked great to start off this season. So with all that being said, I believe the Seahawks will win this game. I believe it's going to be close, but give me them to win. I'd say 24-17. Give me the Seahawks to win this game. I believe the Cardinals do have the ability to hang around because their defense is pretty good, and they got Trey Benson in their backfield, who I believe is going to have a pretty good game as the lead back. Marvin Harrison might not do great, but I do expect him to lean on Trey McBride and Trey Benson to get them a lot of yards and get them in the red zone and score some touchdowns. So give me the Seahawks to win in a close game, a close divisional road game with a score of 24-17. Now for the next game, it's going to be the Pittsburgh Steelers playing the Minnesota Vikings. I believe this game's in Dublin. I'm not entirely sure. It's somewhere in Europe, but it is international. It's the first international game of the season, and I really like the Vikings in this spot. I like the Vikings to win and cover the -2.5. I just think their defense is way too good and is going to overwhelm Aaron Rodgers and that Steelers offense. Last week when the Steelers played the Patriots, really, the Steelers were just trying to give the Patriots that game, but the Patriots kept giving it back to the Steelers. The Patriots had 5 turnovers, and you could say that the Steelers forced those fumbles, but really the Patriots just hang on to the ball, man. Just hang on to the ball, and the Patriots probably win that game. They fumbled 4 separate times in that game. I don't really believe the Steelers went and won that game in New England. I believe the Patriots lost that game. And you look at the Steelers' other 2 games when they played one competent team, and the Seattle Seahawks, they got blown out at home, lost by 17 points. So I believe this is a tough spot for the Steelers. I don't care if it's not J.J. McCarthy. It's actually Carson Wentz. McCarthy already got ruled out, so it is Carson Wentz. And the Vikings clearly have a formula with backup quarterbacks. They lean on their defense. They lean on their running game. Jordan Mason looked great last week against the Cincinnati Bengals, and I expect him to look great again in this game against the Steelers because they have struggled to stop the run all season. And I believe in this game, internationally, the Vikings are going to lean on their offensive line, lean on their running game, play off play action. Justin Jefferson will attack the Steelers defense down the field. They're going to play great defense, get some sacks on Aaron Rodgers, probably force a couple turnovers, and win this game convincingly. Give me the Vikings to win and cover the -2.5 line. Now for the next game, it's going to be the Washington Commanders against the Atlanta Falcons. I had the Commanders winning last week, even if Jaden Daniels didn't play. That is not going to be the case this week. I believe the Falcons are good enough to get this win at home against the Commanders with Marcus Mariota playing. And this prediction would change if I knew Jaden Daniels was the starter, but because his status is uncertain, I'm going to lean Atlanta. They're, I believe, slight favorites to win this game. I believe it's -1. The line's -1 Atlanta. It's basically even odds. And I lean Atlanta because I believe Bijan Robinson is going to take over this game for the Falcons. They need to get back to establishing the run game. The pass game has looked off to start the season for the Falcons. Drake London has not been effective. Darnell Mooney has not been effective. I believe in this game against a kind of weak Washington secondary who just gave up 3 touchdowns to Trey Tucker down the field in blown coverages. I believe the Falcons can take advantage of this weak Washington secondary. I believe they're going to try to establish the run with Bijan and then have Michael Penix play off play action. And I expect the Falcons offense to be firing on all cylinders in this game. And I believe their defense can cause some problems for Washington on the offensive line. And the Falcons with James Pierce Jr. and Jelon Walker, I believe they can get tons of pressure on whoever the starter is, whether it's Jaden Daniels, who won't be 100% in this game, or if it's Marcus Mariota. I believe this Falcons defense is capable of forcing some turnovers and getting some sacks. So I like the Falcons in this spot. Give me them to win outright at home against the Washington Commanders and improve to 2-2. Now for the next game, it's going to be the New Orleans Saints versus the Buffalo Bills. And in this game, I'm going to have the Bills winning and covering. It's the largest spread of the year so far. The line is -15.5, which is crazy, given that it's only week 4. But in terms of power rankings, I believe the Bills are the best team in the NFL, and the Saints are the absolute worst team in the NFL, so this line does make sense. Give me the Bills to win and cover. I expect James Cook to run the ball very, very well in this game. Josh Allen, I believe the Bills are going to have this game won at halftime. And, I mean, what really more analysis am I going to have to say about this game? Spencer Rattler, he has been a good volume passer, but it's mainly been behind the sticks and just short intermediate throws. It hasn't been anything down the field that threatens the Bills' secondary. And I don't think Spencer Rattler is going to be able to move the ball on a consistent rate against this Bills defense. I believe that Alvin Kamara is not going to be able to run the ball effectively. So Spencer Rattler is immediately going to be thrown into a passing script, and that's not going to bode well. And I believe the Bills are going to score points at will, get stops defensively. This game's going to get out of hand quick. Give me the Bills to win and cover at home, -15.5. Now for the next game, it's going to be the Cleveland Browns at the Detroit Lions, and I'm going to be having the Lions to win this game and cover the spread, which is set at -9.5. And although the Browns defense is number 1 overall in total defense, they did just upset Green Bay. I believe that the Lions at home are a juggernaut, and they blow teams out at home. They just blew out the Bears at home 2 weeks ago. I believe this game is also going to be a blowout for the Lions, and I believe it's going to be based on defense. I don't even think the Lions offense is going to have to do a lot in this game for them to blow out the Browns. I believe they're going to force a ton of turnovers on Joe Flacco and that Browns offense. They're going to completely shut them down. And given how they won last week against the Ravens, they're going to carry that momentum into this game at home against the Cleveland Browns, giving the Lions to win in blowout fashion. I believe they're going to try to get Jahmyr Gibbs and Monty established, and if the Browns do shut that down, then Jared Goff can pick apart their secondary with big plays to Jameson Williams and third down conversions to Amon-Ra St. Brown. The Lions have a clear formula to win this game by blowout, and I believe they do it by defense and in the run game. So give me the Lions to win and cover this -9.5 line. Now for the next game, it's going to be the Tennessee Titans versus the Houston Texans. I'm going to have the Texans barely winning this game. I have the Titans covering the spread, which is set at +7.5. But the Texans, I believe, do get it done because they have a winning pedigree. And although they've started the season 0-3, I do believe this is their bounce back game. It has to be. There's no way you lose to the Titans, who are an 0-3 football team with the worst head coach in all of football in Brian Callahan. D'Amico Ryans does not get outcoached in this game by Brian Callahan. I believe D'Amico Ryans is going to have his defense ready to play in this game, and they're going to get after Cam Ward. I believe they're going to get a ton of sacks on Cam Ward, and I believe it's rough for the Titans, man. But I do think in this game, their defense does keep them in it. It's going to be a defensive battle between both of these teams. CJ Stroud has not looked good to start the season, has not looked good dating back all the way to like week 1 of last season was the last time that CJ Stroud looked good for a whole game. And I believe the Texans, this is their game to get right. But the thing is with the Texans, their offensive line is so bad they can't even run the ball effectively with Nick Chubb. So CJ Stroud, who is struggling to throw the ball currently, does not have a run game, does not have a good offensive line. But I do trust the Texans defense more than I trust the Titans defense. So give me the Texans to win a close, low-scoring game. If I had to predict the scoreline, I'd say 20-13, 20-17 in favor of Houston to win this game at home and get their first win of the season. Now moving on to the next game, it's going to be the Carolina Panthers versus the New England Patriots. I'm going to have the Patriots winning this game and covering the spread, which is set at -5.5. And although the Panthers shocked a lot of people, pretty much everyone last week, winning by blowout at home as 5.5-point underdogs, winning 30-0 against the Falcons, I do believe that game was kind of a fluke. And that was more about Michael Penix just not being good than it was about the Panthers defense actually being good. And Drake May has looked good to start this season. I do expect the Patriots to run the ball effectively in this game against that weak Panthers run defense. And I believe this is the breakout game for Travion Henderson. It has to come at some point, and I believe this is the game. Coming off a game in which Ramondre Stevenson and Antonio Gibson combined for 3 fumbles, I do believe this is going to be the passing of the torch to Travion Henderson, and he will take that lead back role, and he will put up big numbers in this game for the Patriots. And then on the other side of the football, I believe the Patriots have a formula to beat this Panthers team, which is to get pressure on Bryce Young. And Bryce Young under pressure is one of the worst quarterbacks in the league. Harold Landry has become one of the best pass rushers in the league this season, so I expect him to get after Bryce Young. And that defense, I believe they're going to create some turnovers on that Panthers offense. And I believe the Patriots are going to lean on their run game with Travion Henderson. They're going to lead him. They're going to bell cow him in this game. They're going to get him going finally. And then Drake May is going to play good football, mistake-free football. And I believe the Patriots win this game at home convincingly. Give me them to win by at least 10 points at home against the Patriots, which would cover the spread, which is set at -5.5. So give me the Patriots to win and cover. Now for the next game, it's going to be the Los Angeles Chargers versus the New York Giants. My team is at home, staring down the barrel of 0-4 right now. And we've made a desperation decision to put in Jackson Dart to start the rest of the season. And honestly, I don't disagree with the move. Would I have liked for it to have waited a week against the Saints? Yes, but I also believe that Jackson Dart is ready for the moment. And this little, I don't know, it's like a gut feeling in me that Jackson Dart just comes out and shocks the world. And I could sound like a complete idiot, and he might suck in this game against the Chargers, given that their defense is so good. But I love the kid's moxie. I love it. And I love his confidence. I believe his confidence and his moxie really carry his kind of demeanor, and I believe he's going to go into this game prepared. I believe he's been prepared for this moment ever since the preseason when he looked outstanding. He plays with a ton of confidence, and I believe Brian Daboll, he's the quarterback that can run Brian Daboll's offense the way that Brian Daboll wants to run his offense. He couldn't really do that with Russ because Russ is a very one-dimensional quarterback. It's either deep ball or bust with Russell Wilson at this point in his career. He's not a good intermediate passer, and he's not a good scrambler. Jackson Dart gives you the whole package. He can run the football very well, and he can scramble the ball, he can read option, he can throw short, intermediate, deep, all of it. He checks all the boxes in what you want in a franchise quarterback from what I've seen so far. And I believe that the Chargers are going to win this game and they're going to cover, but we are going to see flashes of Jackson Dart being great. And I believe that it won't be enough to win this game at home against that Chargers offense with Justin Herbert playing at an MVP level. I don't think our defense is good enough to stop Justin Herbert in that passing game from doing this damage. And I think Amari and Hampton also gets going. So I do believe this is going to be a pretty high-scoring game. And it's leaning me towards picking the Chargers by blowout, but I would not be surprised if Jackson Dart kind of wills this team and the team kind of galvanizes around his energy. And I believe that this crowd is going to be behind Jackson Dart at home, making his first career start. So I could see an upset on the books here, but I believe our defense holds us back from competing in this game. So give me the Chargers to put up 30-plus points, but I believe the Giants will get in the ballpark of 17 to 24 points in this game, but I will take the Chargers to win. Give me the Chargers to win 30-20. 30-20 is what I believe will be the final score. I believe our defense struggles to stop Justin Herbert in this game, but Jackson Dart also shows signs of greatness in this game in his debut. And it'll be running the football. It'll be running the ball with Cam Scatabo, who's been a great player for us so far this season. And we're going to show some promise on offense, but our defense still will leave a lot to be desired in this game. Give me the Chargers to win and cover the -6.5 line. Now for the next game, it's going to be the Tampa Bay Buccaneers against the Philadelphia Eagles. If you guys have been watching my videos, you know how high I am on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, but I do believe that they are outmatched in this game against the Philadelphia Eagles, given the amount of injuries that they have been suffering as of recently. Right now, they have Chris Godwin coming back, but they also have Mike Evans leaving. Well, not leaving, but out with injury due to that hamstring strain that he suffered. Once again, he suffered hamstring injuries, I swear, for 5 straight seasons. So now Emeka Egbuka steps up as the wide receiver 1. You have Chris Godwin coming back as the wide receiver 2. And I believe Sterling Shepard is really underrated in this offense. He has a very good role in this offense. And the Tampa Bay Buccaneers still have weapons. They have Emeka, Chris Godwin, and Sterling Shepard. However, I just think the Eagles offense figured some things out in that second half against the Rams. And I believe that their offense is going to put up a lot of points in this Bucs defense. And I think Baker is going to be a little outmatched against this Eagles defense, who really performed well in that second half. I believe the Eagles found answers to a lot of questions in that second half against the Rams. Could Jalen Hurts throw the ball? Yes. Can we get A.J. Brown and Devonta Smith involved? Yes. And then now, if the Bucks cannot stop Jalen Hurts in the passing game, they're going to start putting back the safeties into a two deep shell. Now they're going to turn around and hand the football off to Saquon Barkley. So I think the Eagles are going to win this game convincingly. I wouldn't say by a blowout. I think the Bucks have an opportunity to backdoor cover the spread, which is set at plus 3.5. I think with the garbage time touchdown, I think the Eagles find themselves up 10 points, and the Bucks go down on a drive late in the game and score a touchdown in garbage time to make it respectable. But I do believe the Eagles will lead this game for a majority of the game, and giving the Eagles to win. But the Buccaneers, I believe they will cover this spread, which is set at plus 3.5. And yeah, I think the Eagles will win this game, and I believe it will be convincingly, and the Bucks will backdoor cover. And I just think they're outmatched in terms of personnel. I think the Eagles have better personnel than the Bucks at this point in time, given the Bucks' injuries right now. It's going to be Tristan Wirfs' first game back. We're not sure how he's going to look. We're not sure how Chris Godwin's going to look. The Bucks have gotten off to a 3-0 start, but they have all been on game-winning drives. And the Eagles, I believe, are the better team, and they will get this win and improve to 4-0. So give me the Eagles to win, but the Bucks to cover the plus 3.5. Now for the next game, it's going to be the Indianapolis Colts at the LA Rams. Give me the Rams to win and cover the line, which is set at negative 3.5. I trust Matthew Stafford and Sean McVay to bounce back after a heartbreaking loss. I think they will bounce back in this game. They're going to get Kyren Williams going, and I just think they're the better team. And although the Colts have started off 3-0, Daniel Jones has looked extremely impressive. I do believe this Rams defense is going to be his toughest test so far, because the Broncos defense hasn't looked that great to start the season. And also, I believe that this Rams defense is legit. They can get pressure on the quarterback, and they can stop the run. So if the Rams focus on first stopping Jonathan Taylor, I do believe that they can get some pressure on Daniel Jones in the backfield and probably get a couple sacks. So I like the Rams in this matchup, giving them to win and cover the spread, which is set at negative 3.5 over the Colts at home. Now for the next game, we're going to move on to the 405 and 425 slate. We have the Jacksonville Jaguars playing the San Francisco 49ers. I'm going to have an upset in this game, giving the Jaguars to win in San Francisco. And I believe the weakest part of the Jaguars so far, which is surprising to me, is the play of Trevor Lawrence. I believe the passing game is the Jaguars' weakness right now, and I believe that has to do with the pass game coordinator Shane Waldron. Everywhere Shane Waldron has been, whether it's in Seattle, whether it's in the Rams, or what was the last team on the Seahawks, the Rams, the Bears, he's just been absolutely awful as an offensive mind. And I believe that's what's holding this Jaguars offense back right now. They haven't been able to get Travis Hunter involved. They have not been able to get Brian Thomas Jr. going. But I believe in this matchup against the Niners, given how depleted their defense is and offense in general, just the Niners team in general is a hospital right now. I believe the Jaguars defense is good enough to force some turnovers. They lead the league right now with 9 takeaways and through 3 games. I believe that does continue in this game, especially if Mac Jones is the starter. And if Brock Purdy is the starter, he's not going to be 100% because I do believe the Niners would rush him back from that toe and shoulder injury. But my take on this is I believe Mac Jones will play this game because I don't believe the Niners, given how injured they already are, I don't think they want to rush back Brock Purdy, in a scenario when they're already 3-0, they can afford to drop one game against the Jaguars. It's not a divisional opponent. They do play the Rams next week on Thursday Night Football, which is a short week for the Niners. So I think that they're going to be looking ahead to the Rams game at home, and they're going to want to sit Brock Purdy. So I believe Mac Jones will be the starter in this game, and I believe the Jaguars can take advantage of that and get some turnovers. And they have one of the best rushing offenses in the league right now with Travis Etienne and not Tank Bigsby anymore. It's Tootin, the rookie. So I think the winning formula for Jacksonville is here. They run the ball effectively. If Trevor Lawrence can just get the pass game right, if they can get the ball in the hands of Brian Thomas Jr., if they can get the ball in the hands of Travis Hunter, then they can put up some points in this injured Niners defense. Give me the Jags to upset the Niners, who are right now plus 3.5. Give me the Jaguars to win outright in San Francisco. Now for the next game, it's going to be the game of the week really in the NFL. The Baltimore Ravens travel to Arrowhead to play the Chiefs and have another upset. Give me the Kansas City Chiefs at home as plus 2.5 underdogs to win straight up against the Ravens. And people look at the rosters, and I believe that's what's skewing the line is, oh, the Ravens just have a better roster. The Chiefs have not looked good. But I believe that win against the Giants was a turning point for the Chiefs this season. They finally figured some things out in that second half against the Giants. They started to look like the old methodical Chiefs, going down the field on methodical drives, taking care of the football, getting turnovers on defense. I believe this Chiefs team is going to come ready to play, and I believe the Ravens did look a little concerning in that loss to the Lions. Although their offense is putting up great points, I don't believe that this Ravens offense is capable of doing what they've done to the Bills defense, to the Lions defense, to the Chiefs. I think the Chiefs have historically done very well against Lamar Jackson, and the Chiefs are also great at stopping the run. And we saw what happened on Monday Night Football when the Lions stopped Derrick Henry. The Ravens really didn't have any answers on offense. So I believe the winning formula is here for Kansas City. Stop Derrick Henry like they did last year in week 1. Stop Derrick Henry, make Lamar beat you with his arm. And obviously Lamar can do that, but I believe the Chiefs are just better in terms of stopping the run. And then on the other side of the ball, this Ravens defense looks very vulnerable right now. And I believe Patrick Mahomes, especially if today Xavier Worthy was a full participant in practice, once he gets Xavier Worthy back, he still has Kelsey, Worthy, Tyquan Thornton has been good, Hollywood Brown, Juju Smith-Schuster. The Chiefs can do some damage to this Baltimore defense. I believe it's going to be a great game. It's going to be a classic game, but I trust the Chiefs coaching staff and Andy Reid, Steve Spagnuolo against John Harbaugh and that Ravens staff. I do trust the Chiefs in situational football, and I believe that's what this game is going to come down to. And that game against the Bills, it came down to situational football. The Bills were superior. And in the Lions game, the Lions, multiple times in that game, it came down to situational football. 4th and goal at the 1 yard line, the Lions got to stop. 4th downs multiple times on offense for the Lions, they converted. The Chiefs, I believe, are a better situational football team than the Ravens, and I believe that's what gives them the edge in this game. Give me the Chiefs to win at home as underdogs against the Baltimore Ravens. Now for the next game, it's going to be the Chicago Bears versus the Las Vegas Raiders. I like the Bears in this matchup. I think they really figured some things out in week 3 against the Cowboys. They really turned a corner there with Caleb Williams. I believe he is trending in the right direction now with Ben Johnson, and the team morale is up, and I believe they now travel to the Raiders, and I like them to win this game and put up some points on offense. That Raiders defense just gave up 41 points to a Marcus Mariota-led Washington Commanders team. And I believe Caleb in this offense with DeAndre Swift, DJ Moore, Rome Odunze, Luther Burden, they have some real weapons, and I believe they can get them involved against this Raiders weak defense. And then on the other side of the ball, Geno Smith has been turning over the ball a lot, and I believe the Bears can take advantage of that. And Ashton Jeanty still has not been able to get going, and the Bears, I mean, they've had a decent run defense, but I just believe the Raiders' offensive line is really that bad, that they have not been able to block for Ashton Jeanty, not have been able to pass block for Geno Smith. So I believe with all these factors considered, I like the Bears to win a close game, a close, high-scoring game. Give me the Bears to win 27-24 in Las Vegas. Now for Sunday Night Football, we have the Green Bay Packers versus the Dallas Cowboys. I like the Packers in this matchup to win and cover the spread, which is set at -6.5. And I believe they're going to lean on their defense. I believe the loss of CeeDee Lamb for the Cowboys is huge, and I believe the Packers can take advantage of that. They have Micah Parsons in his revenge game. I believe the Packers are going to lean on Josh Jacobs, run the football effectively with him. He's probably going to have a couple touchdowns, and the Packers defense is going to harass Dak Prescott and that Dallas Cowboys offense. So I like the Packers to win in blowout fashion in Jerry World. I believe they're going to make a statement win, and Micah Parsons is going to prove why trading him away was one of the biggest mistakes in Cowboys franchise history. And I believe the Packers do make a statement in this game, win and cover the spread, which is set at -6.5. Now for the Monday Night Football games, these are probably some of the worst Monday Night Football games we're going to get all season. We got the New York Jets versus the Miami Dolphins. I'm going to have the Jets winning this game. I'm not that confident in the pick. The Dolphins are favored to win this game. The Jets are underdogs at +2.5. But I believe whether it's Justin Fields or Tyrod Taylor, the Jets offense is going to do some damage to this weak Miami defense. I believe Breece Hall has a huge game in this game. Probably rushes for over 100 yards and a couple touchdowns. The Dolphins just cannot stop the run at all. And I believe Garrett Wilson has the ability to do some damage to that weak Dolphins secondary. And on the flip side, Tua has just not looked good to start the season. I just don't trust him. I can't pick the Dolphins because I don't trust Tua right now. And I don't think Mike McDaniel trusts Tua to throw the ball down the field, because pretty much every play call against the Bills on Thursday Night Football was dump off, Devon Achane dump off, Tyreek Hill dump off, Jalen Waddle dump off, and it was really a struggle to move the ball down the field against that Bills defense because they had to do it so methodically and not with big plays. And I believe Sauce Gardner on Tyreek Hill or Jalen Waddle is a matchup that the Jets like. And then on top of that, the Dolphins just have not been able to run the ball, which is one of the Jets' biggest weaknesses. So the Dolphins can't run the ball, and they can't throw the ball down the field with Tua. And I believe that these kind of factors favor the Jets. So I do like the Jets and Aaron Glenn to get their first win of the season on the road in Miami. I'm not that confident in the pick, but both teams suck. Both teams are 0-3. I lean Jets because I just simply don't trust Tua to win this game. Now, for the next game, it's going to be the final game, actually. It's going to be the Cincinnati Bengals versus the Denver Broncos. I think this game is going to be a massacre. I want the Denver Broncos to win this game. Well, I have the Denver Broncos winning this game and covering the spread, which is set at -7.5. I believe this Broncos defense will harass Jake Browning and that Bengals offense. I believe the Bengals offensive line might go down as one of the worst offensive lines in NFL history. It's awful. They can't pass block and they can't run block. It's simply atrocious. And Joe Burrow died in 2 weeks. He literally died in 5 quarters. That's all it took for Joe Burrow to get hurt. It's only a matter of time before Jake Browning even gets hurt with the amount of hits he's taking. And this offense is very limited if they can't throw the ball down the field, and that's what they want to do with Jamar Chase and T. Higgins, but they can't do that because their offensive line is so bad. And they can't run the ball. They can't throw the ball downfield because their offensive line doesn't give them enough time to do that. Nick Benito is going to get after Jake Browning in this game. This whole Broncos defense is going to get after the Bengals. It's just a horrible matchup in my opinion. And on the flip side, the Bengals defense has not been able to stop the run, and the Broncos have been running the ball very well with J.K. Dobbins. So all these factors, all of this information factored in together, I love the Broncos to win by blowout fashion at home against the Bengals. Give me the Broncos to win and cover the spread, which is set at -7.5. And that is going to be it for this video. And I will see you guys next time for when I reveal my top 10 teams in the NFL after week 4.